Hey, welcome back. So let's create our to select the cell to select function. So copy this part right here, copy. Let's come down here and create a function. So we will say function cell to select, like that, and selected cell. So I'm just going to change this to selected, and then mode is right there. Okay, so this is all good. So now maybe I'll put underscore cell here so that in future you can remember what this is. So here we just put a let's put an if statement for all 4 directions. Yes, instead of having to do this from scratch, let's copy that. Okay, let's come back here and paste. So let's replace e.key with mode. Okay, mode, and then let's replace this arrow up. Let's remove all arrows here, out, and then let's select shift control right key, and then let me use this edit and convert case to lowercase. Okay, there we go. Then once here we know, so once we are here, we are good to go now here. So I'll say to select is equal to an empty no, not an empty one. I'm going to say row, like that. Full colon is equal to 0. Let's just add 0 for the sake of it. Duplicate, remove the, and then let me do column 0. So in case we get lost, we will just return 0, 0, and then we can select the original item, the item number 0, 0. So return to select, like that. Okay, now we want to know what mode it is in, and we want to know what values exist on the selected cell. So I'm going to say var row is equal to the current row right now, selected cell dot get attribute. What attribute is that? Row. Duplicate that and change it to column. Yes, yes. So we have the old column and we have the new column. So all we have to do now is figure out what mode we are on and to know which one to increment or decrement as required. So here I'm going to say to select dot row. We want to edit this value in here. So dot row is going to be equal to, now since we are going upward, right? Since we're going upward here, let's see for a second. Row, we're just going to -1. So what I will do here is say row, this current row, -1. Now the important thing here to remember is that row is not really a number, it's a string that we got from the attribute, right? So let's make sure that we parse it as an integer, like so. Parse int, like that. So -1. Very good. So to select row is equal to that -1. And also the same thing, since we're going up, we're going a row -1, and then the column remains the same. So column remains parse int column. Now the reason we parsed this as an integer is because we wanted to do some math on it. Since we're not doing any math here, we don't need to parse it as an integer or anything. The column remains the same. Okay, pretty good. So let's copy this, bring it here. Same thing with down, the column remains the same, but here we have to add 1 to the row. But down here things are a bit different, left and right. The row remains the same, but let's do this. So the left, we're going to minus 1 column. Okay. And then here we'll leave things as they are as a row. And then let me copy that again and paste it there. And here I'm just going to add. Now remember one thing, that we can't have a column number -1, right? So if, for example, the row here is if this row number here is 0, we can't go lower than that, right? We can't go lower than that. So if we do, it's going to be -1 and the cursor will be lost. So if we don't want the cursor to be lost here in the minus section, we'll deal with the plus section later. If we don't want that, we can put an if statement here to check and say if, so let me copy this. So here is equal to, let me remove this because I've copied it already. Let me remove that as well, like that. So parse int row, if it's equal to 0, right? Or let's ask if it's greater than 0. So if parse int is greater than 0, okay, then let's do the very thing we wanted to do, that, okay? Or else, if it's not, then set it to 0, like that, okay? So I'm going to copy the same thing, go to the other minus section of the column and do exactly the same thing. Paste, and just change that to column. So it's just an if statement to say if this is greater than 0, then it's okay to -1 it. But if it's not greater than 0, maybe it's equal to 0, then just set it at 0 and forget about it. Okie dokie. Let's see if any of this is actually working. So I'll click here and then try to move. Ah, looky there. It somehow worked, but let's inspect the element and go to the console. E is not defined. Select by keyboard. Well, well, well. I didn't expect to see an E there. Okay, so selected items.push. Obviously, we don't have e.target. We're supposed to add the new cell. So new cell right there. Pretty cool. Refresh, select an item. Let's move. Okay, so things are looking good. Let's try the left side. Okay, right. Very nice. The only problem, of course, which you have seen, is that the selection is not being deleted, the old selection. But let's see what we did wrong here. That's because we are removing and then we're adding at the same time. Ooh, my battery is low. Alright, so let's solve this problem in the next video. As you can see, my battery is low. But so far, so good. I will see you in the next video.